Storybreaking. So I mentioned, we've talked about Peter and I are writing and hope to produce a mini-series based on our lives here in China. And so previously we've talked about our characters and the overall arc that we wanted to follow. And this vacation, actually, when I was back in America, was a lot of just sitting down and writing the episodes. So now I have 5 out of 6 in a good second draft state. And then the 6 I have, it's in outline form. But it is a big job to go from the big ideas down to, like, in this scene, who's there and what are they doing and what needs to happen. And so it was a process that was really helped, I think, by the fact that Peter and I hashed out the characters so thoroughly. Because, I mean, this is so cliche when you hear writers say it, but it would be like they'd tell me what they needed to do. Like, the most effective way for me to think about it was, like, so I'd have the outline and the basic conflicts of the story all set. And then to get from A to B, okay, well, Patrice is hanging out with 𝗵𝗵𝗶. What are they doing? Oh, well, they're doing this. And then so, okay, I need them to get interrupted. Who interrupts them? Oh, this character interrupts them. And it is like, it's writing, I guess, seems mystical, or art seems mystical, because it's not like, determination is not what makes the art come out, you know?
I wonder how much, like, because people, especially these days when you have, like, these big, like, Star Wars, Gone with the Wind, Game of Thrones, world building is a term that people use a lot.
Yeah.
And how much of it really is, like, you're just building your Dungeons and Dragons castles and kingdoms next to each other. But how much, when writers talk about world building, or the characters are world building, like it feels like when people talk, like, again with Game of Thrones or Star Wars, to me, like,
right,
you were talking about what kind of ships they drive, what kind of planet they live on,
yeah,
what kind of government they're ruled by, or something like that.
Which I always find, like, the most boring parts
yeah.
of those. Like, oh, great, you figured out how an alien economy would work.
Right. And
please stop telling me about it.
And then when you deal with the characters, like, you get, like, a second of something like a character, like we all love Han Solo or whatever, but, I mean, not even knowing anything about the new movie, but it apparently falls flat on the character people most wanted to see a story about, because it's young Solo, and there's no character other than, like, Harrison Ford smells like a Wookiee, or whatever joke that he has. Like, that's about all that the character has. The world is great. I mean, show me new characters. That seems more interesting. Again, I haven't watched those movies either, or I've tried to, and they weren't interesting. But having a big world for those characters to live in seems to be part of a world building. And once you have, like, the characters, and you know where they have to go to get a thing done.
Yeah.
Like, how much do you feel are...
Well, I think, to me, I mean, we already China is a real place, and we're starting with things that happen to us. Yeah. But what's a good driver for me is, like, how does the character relate to the world? And, like, there's broad stuff, like, Patrice has a sense of adventure, but she's also, like, a little shy, and so she pushes herself beyond her comfort zone. And that's, like, that's good for starting out, but then, like, that doesn't tell me necessarily, like, where she would go or how she'd get into a situation, versus, like, she really likes helping people and, like, is eager for people's approval, so sometimes she gets into situations where she's doing something she doesn't really want to do because someone has asked her and she feels unable to say no. And then that's a scene, you know? Then I just have to pick who's asking her to do what and where are they doing it.